Welcome to the STARS program, seniors taking active roles in society. And now, here's your host, ANITA FINLEY.
Well, this is going to be fun. You know, we talk with doctors, we talk with lawyers, we talk with Indian chiefs or something like that. But what we're going to do now is talk with, and it's such a coincidence, I first talked with this man named Randy Berman, but his middle name is Boomer. I said, for real? He said, yes. So we're going to call him Boomer. He's a public relations specialist with Equity Lifestyle Properties. We're talking about RVs. So excited. So welcome to our show, Boomer.
Thank you for having me. Glad to be here.
Yeah, this is great. How long have you been in this field?
I'm going on almost 20 years now in the PR media world.
Huh. And what made you want to get involved with RVs? Do you love them?
Actually, the RV part, I wouldn't say I'm like in the world of RVs personally. I definitely think they're great, and I've learned a lot more since starting here with Encore and Thousand Trails. But I think the camping aspect and the unique accommodation aspect is what really I thought was interesting.
Yeah, it is. And when I think about it, and this may not, I think it's true that people who do RVing and are in these camps are very down to earth. They're really nice. You know, you can go to a fancy hotel. You don't know any of the other people who are staying there.
I can say that without a doubt. When the campgrounds and the communities that I've visited, they are definitely very nice people, RVers in general. It's one of those where you're even just walking or in a golf cart or going through the campground, you will get a wave, and it's almost rude if you're not waving back. And every person you see sitting out in front or just walking their dog, whatever they're doing, playing, pickleball, when you're going by them, you're waving, and everyone's a friendly face and there to say hello. It's a fun little. It brings everyone kind of a community feel, even though you're on a vacation.
So you just said something about a dog. So many places where you want to go as a resort, they don't allow dogs, but you can bring a dog if you're an RVer, can't you?
Yes, we're most. I mean, there are some. We do have some RV resorts or campgrounds that aren't pet friendly, but most all are, I would say, and even actually have amenities for your pet, whether it's a dog run. Some actually have like a little dog park where there's actually obstacles and fun things for your pet. We actually host events sometimes when the pools are closing for the summer. The last day of the pool that's open, it's open for the dogs, so they can all come in and enjoy the pool before it's closed.
Oh,
down
you're kidding!
For the winter. Yeah.
We need a picture of that.
It's a great event, and it happens across our campgrounds and properties across the country.
Well, don't forget me when this happens. I want a picture. You probably have pictures of it now, anyway.
We do have some good pictures.
Oh, that would make a great picture on my cover because everyone loves dogs where I deal with, so
right.
That's
I'm
great.
I'm a dog fan.
Okay. All right, well, let's really get into the business part of this. So let's talk about your company, which is Encore, and I love the name Thousand Trails. Are there 1,000 trails in your organization?
Yeah, well, it's Encore, Thousand Trails. It's RV resorts and Thousand Trails campgrounds. So it's two different types of branding, really. Our Encore RV resorts are kind of summer focused and in like the Florida area and more that resort type feel, where Thousand Trails is more the camping type experience, where you can go and you're in the woods or in the thick of it, I should say.
All right, so tell us what's so, and let's say they're listening to the show and they say, gee, I'd like to try this. What should they do?
Well, I would say go to rvonthego.com, and first, that's how you can plan your vacation of sorts, depending on where you want to go or what your plan of attack is for your vacation. You can go there, and there's a whole map, and you can kind of pick what location's best, and you can choose by state, region. You can choose by amenities that are provided. So it really is open to all sorts of different types of vacationers or people that are on the go. And you can book and do all your reservations right from there, and you can search various sites, what type of site, if you're traveling in an RV, what size of an RV you have, and you can pick a site like that. If you're just looking for a unique accommodations, we have you can rent a cabin. We have colorful cottages. yurts. There's certain properties that are kind of unique experiences where you're on a working ranch or a working farm, and you could stay in Western themed cabins. And then most popular the last couple of years is we have tiny house villages in 4 different locations, and you can actually stay in a tiny house for a little vacation.
Ha! Now, that's interesting. Tiny houses. My husband actually was going to be building a bunch of tiny houses, and they accommodate 2 people, and it's quite nice. So usually it's up and down, but wow, you haven't forgotten a thing. I love talking with you.
All right. Well, it's good to be here. Yeah, the tiny houses are great. I would say I'm a large man, and that was the first time I ever got to go to a tiny house, and they were actually way more roomy than I anticipated, and plenty of room to sleep, like lay your head, and then the whole house. I mean, it's tiny, but it's got all the fixings. It's a full kitchen and bathroom, shower, couch, TV with a satellite hookup, and you're really glamping, we like to say, instead of camping, because you're living a glamorous type style life when you're out there in a tiny house.
So it's called glamping. Oh, I love that. Wow, you're more than I thought I was going to get to talk about. So this is not a boring conversation. Let me give everyone a phone number. When you go on a website, you get to see a lot more. But I'm going to give those of you who like to work with talking to someone a phone number. So get your pencils. Remember, this is Pencil Talk Radio. It's 877-570-2267. Again, 877-570-2267. And, of course, Boomer said that it's rvonthego.com if you want to go to the website. Now, what I see is happening, people who've already known about this, they're doing things for this Thanksgiving holiday. But Boomer said that you also have specials for Black Friday and Cyber Monday coming up, right?
We do. There's on both sides of it, on our Encore RV resort, RV sites and rentals and like tent sites. You starting on Black Friday and continuing through the weekend and Cyber Monday, you'll get 40% off rentals of those sites. It excludes some states in the warm weather states, I should say. For those, there's a 20% off. There's promo codes. I can say the promo codes now. The one for 40% off is BFCM40, and the one in the warm weather states is BFCM20, and so that's for 40% and 20% off a rental site. And then over on our Thousand Trails side, we actually have a camping pass, which allows you different ways. It's basically a year-round pass for you to camp at any of our Thousand Trails locations. It's an annual camping pass, and you get $150 off that.
Incredible. This is really very special. I think that people who maybe have traveled the world, they've gone everywhere, and they haven't had an RV experience, this is it, folks. This is so nice because you're really on your own. No one's going to bother you. You can have as much or as little when you go to a community. You can participate in pickleball and all the other things they have, or you can just pull up, stay in there, and I'm sure there's other amenities. But and the fact is that if you don't have an RV, so you don't want to invest in one, you can just do it and participate. But if you do have one, you'll have a choice of so many places. I don't want to catch you on this, but how many parks in your organization?
There's close to 200 different Encore and RV Thousand Trails campgrounds all around the country.
200. Oh, my goodness.
On that note, I know we were talking about some deals and our Thanksgiving deals. We partnered actually with Mighway, and it's our Thanksgiving deal, but it does run through November 30th. So there's still some time to take advantage. And with the Mighway, we're offering 2 nights free at any of the locations when you book an RV through Mighway. And Mighway is one of those. It's the Airbnb of RVs. So if you don't have an RV, you can go to Mighway.com and find local RV owners that are offering theirs up for rent. And then so it provides easy access and even if you're in the market to buy an RV, it's a good way to go practice and see what you like and what you don't like and what campgrounds you want to go to, and so it's a good way to explore your options if you're in the market.
Well, actually, Boomer, I think that your company sounds like the king of the hill.
I would agree with that statement.
It does, and so you have 200, and I think you said before you go from the East Coast to the West Coast to the North and to the South, right? Everywhere.
Correct. All down and up and down the coast. In the South, Florida and Arizona are big states for our locations. And on that note, we also had 72 of our Encore resorts and Thousand Trails campgrounds. They earned the TripAdvisor's 2018 Certificate of Excellence. So we're really proud of that, and we keep improving our properties with various amenities and upgrading different areas of the campgrounds.
Well, it certainly appeals to me. I'm going to put this on not even on my bucket list, it's on my to-do list.
Yeah, it's definitely something to do.
Right. It definitely is. And I'm sure that it's very children friendly, grandchildren friendly, pet friendly, and all you have to do is bring your body, your car, and when you go into something, if you're going to rent it, they have the sheets and they have everything there for you. It's like a hotel, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, you check in, that's probably about as similar of a hotel as you can get as far as the check-in process and getting organized in that front. But once you're there, it's definitely a unique experience as far as all the amenities you get, from pickleball and tennis and volleyball and miniature golf at some, and the pools, exercise rooms. So you get all that type of stuff. And then also at certain properties, there's activities directors. So there's various events, whether it's a band coming in, there's craft fairs. So there's all various things that can happen there that are unique to the individual property. So it's a good thing to explore and make sure what you're getting into is what you want.
My guest is Randy Boomer Berman, who's the public relations specialist at Equity Lifestyle Properties, and you are calling in. Aren't you calling in from Arizona?
I'm calling actually from Chicago.
But
yeah.
I see. And so you work out of Chicago?
I do work out of Chicago.
Oh, okay. I just saw your cell number. I didn't.
Oh, yeah. I was born and raised in Arizona.
Oh, okay. So, sorry.
The number.
I wasn't sure. All right. So talk about how economical this is, because I know people. Some people have money, and some people are really on their retirement savings. Sure.
Well, I mean, it's definitely a more affordable way to travel or vacation. Whereas you're just, when you go on a typical vacation, you book plane and rent a car and get a hotel room, and then have to pay for all extra fun stuff that you're doing. With this, you really just are paying for the land that you drive your RV on, and so you're renting a site, and then all the stuff is included there. So you lose that airplane fees and the hotel fees, and you just pay for a site rent, and then everything you have already in your RV, you're good to go. And as far as the unique accommodations, those prices vary. If you want to do a tent, it can be as little as around roughly $20 a night or something like that, all the way up to a tiny house starts at like $139 a night, which I would say is more on the hotel side, but it also includes those extra amenities that you would get at your campground.
Yeah, so this is a very exciting thing. So you can now, they're all sizes of these RVs. I see them on the road. They look like a huge bus.
Yeah.
And some are attached to their cars.
Sure. There's trailers, there's fifth wheels, there's a wide variety of various RVs, and we accommodate them all as far as what site you're going. We have different sizes for sites, and making sure obviously your rig can fit into a certain site. But yes, they're definitely a wide variety of different sizes. I feel we've seen, and we think that it kind of peaked as far as the bigger bus-looking ones that you're referring to, and maybe are kind of sliding towards the more efficient, less gas-guzzling, smaller version RV. And that's actually a trend that we're kind of looking into to see if that's really a thing.
Right, and I guess the big part about this is if you're in your car and you break down, you go to a garage. What do you do if you're in an RV?
It would pretty much be the same. I think you still need to find that mechanic that knows how to fix an RV. I would say that a lot of RVers themselves know their rig themselves the best. So I mean, depending on their mechanical ability, but for the most part, I feel like they're in the know of what is running and what is not. But you would still have to bring it to a mechanic if you were broken down.
Yeah, you're right. That's the only thing. Because at one time, I really wanted my husband. We were going to rent one, go down to the Keys, and that was his big concern. Well, gee, what am I going to do? You know, am I going to find someone that can repair this or that? But we never wound up doing it. But it's always been on my mind. I love the idea.
I would say with a rent, if you're renting, typically wherever you're renting from will take care of any type of issues or replacements that you may need. As far as rent, it's just like renting a car. You would still have that opportunity to bring it back, or they'll come down with a new one and replace it, type thing.
Oh, I see.
If you happen to break down.
Yeah. Well, this is really great. So let's talk about somebody wanting to buy one. Does your company sell these?
No, we do not. We do work with various dealerships as far as if they bought an RV. You can get, sometimes I don't know the specific deals, but you'll get, a 2-week camping pass at, with our location. Since you purchased an RV, now go explore where you can take it, type thing. So we work with that, but we do not sell RVs ourselves.
Right. Well, you can't be in all parts of the business. I understand that. But the most important thing is that you do provide the places for people to go, because I think that's the biggest thing. I'm sure people worry that, all right, I'm going to buy this, and now where do I go? But you said if they go onto your website, which is the RVonthego.com, that you have an entire map of where every campground is, and I'm sure what they want, what they give. It's like it's a whole thing. I haven't been on that website, but I will go and do that later.
Yeah, it's a great site to explore what you're looking for, and you'll find some ideas like you wouldn't even know you wanted to do, and then you see that they have it. You're like, oh, I'll go there. And I mean, there's like for the mini golf always got me. I thought it was great that they had putt-putt at some of the locations, and I'm like, oh, that'd be kind of fun. Like you're on a camping trip, and you're going to take a break and go do some putt-putt.
Well, how about, are any of the parks on the ocean or on big lakes? It must be.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Lakes. We got. I mean, there are all sorts of lakes. From in Texas, there's Lake Conroe, which is just north of Houston. Lake George in New York is a great property and a great little area. A lot of our properties are on lakes. The fishing, boating, and water sports are a big part of the camping experience. Oceans. I mean, obviously Florida. We got them down the Florida Keys. There's RV resorts. We have Fiesta Key and Sunshine Key. Sunshine Key, which recently reopened after a great renovation or rehabilitation, I should say. And then in the Pacific Northwest, out of Oregon and in the Seattle area, there's campgrounds all sorts there. And that's where actually our original tiny house village is, just outside of Portland in Mount Hood area. And we have the Mount Hood tiny house village out there.
Now, that's interesting in Portland, because our daughter lives in Portland, and she's the one that my husband said, send me pictures of tiny houses because I want to think about building a whole community of them, and I'm sure that's where she went.
Well, it's definitely a very popular area for the tiny house trend, and yeah, we have it just outside Portland. There's a tiny house village in Leavenworth, Washington, which is just east, I should say, of Seattle. It's a great little town of Leavenworth. It's a little Bavarian town, so our tiny houses are all Bavarian themed. And then we actually have a couple of tiny houses, not necessarily a village, but there's 2 tiny houses in Arizona, in Verde Valley, which is just basically Sedona, that looks over the Red Rocks of Sedona and Verde Valley out there in it's like north of Phoenix. And then the 4th tiny house village is actually our first East Coast, which is in Tuxbury. It's in Southampton. It's called Tuxbury Tiny House Village in Southampton. It's just north of Boston, maybe an hour north of Boston. It's kind of on the borderline of Massachusetts border there.
Right. Well, the company is certainly moving forward. How long have they been around?
Well, itself has been been around for a while, and then we just keep growing and getting bigger and moving things forward, like you said, and trying to be innovative as far as what we bring to our various properties and resorts and campgrounds, and just trying to stick with the times and make sure everyone's kind of in the know of all the cool things that you can experience when you're doing this, and losing that image of what we have of the old style camping ways and RVing and manufactured home communities, and kind of bringing it into the 21st century.
Yes. Now, the difference in a mobile home park and what you do is a mobile home park is a community. It's stable. It's right. That's not what we're talking about.
Correct. Well, and we do have manufactured home communities where it's less that mobile home trailer type, that you have in your head, and we have these manufactured home communities, which are beautiful homes, and they sit in these resort-style communities, and some are mixed and matched with. We do have manufactured home communities, and in that same community, there's an RV section, and so RVers and manufactured home owners mingle just the same.
Uh-huh. I don't know if you've ever heard of this, but I used to live in an area here in Boynton Beach where we had something called briny breezes. It's very typical of mobile homes, but they're on the ocean and on the Intracoastal. And it's worth a lot of money, and they're just tiny little, I would call them trailers, but they're really not. They're kind of mobile homes, but some are very small. And it became very famous because some developer was going to buy the whole place because of the location, and everyone was going to get $1 million. Oh,
wow.
Didn't go through.
Yeah, that sounds like a nice deal for everybody.
Right, exactly. Then there are people who are buying them thinking they were going to get this $1 million, but it's okay. But I'm very familiar with what that looks like, and they do have shuffleboard. I mean, here they are, right in South Florida, in a very upscale area where the homes surrounding them are, up to the millions. So it's quite a place.
It is, and it's another way to live affordably in communities like that. So you can be surrounded by $1 million homes and have a state-of-the-art manufactured home in that same neighborhood for, I'll say like $70,000, and you're still living in the same, that same community. So it's a great way to live in the city that you want to live in, and live in a more affordable, reasonable price.
Yes, and now that affordable housing is the key word, because so many people, they can't afford the big houses they had, and they're trying to downsize.
Sure.
And affordable housing is a key. In fact, now that, let's see, we have this huge company that's going to be in Virginia and Washington. I lost the word. That they just decided that's where they're going to open their immense.
Oh, Amazon?
Yeah, Amazon. Sorry, thank you.
No
that
problem.
Amazon, and the big word though is, okay, but what's going to happen with all these people? There's no affordable housing there.
Yeah, that was a whole issue that I think people were discussing even before they chose, when they were just going through different cities to make their choice.
But this would be perfect now, thinking about it. Your company should be buying up whatever land they could and put in these kinds of homes.
Yeah, I mean, that's not a terrible idea. I don't know that sense of the business and where they're exactly located. I think they're in Brooklyn or in the Bronx where they're opening that Amazon. So I'm not 100% sure on what that vision of manufactured home community looks like there, but it's across the country. I can tell you otherwise that it's definitely an affordable way to live in a home and own your home, and still live in the cities that you want to be around.
Right, and tiny houses. That was the whole idea with tiny houses, that they're affordable, and a lot of people were, really doing that. Didn't realize that you could live in something that small. As you said, you were comfortable. We have too much room in our houses. We don't need all this, actually. So many people, so there's a whole new wave going, but I think that your company's on the cutting edge as far as I'm concerned. And I want to do a lot more with this, because I think that we ought to have probably a monthly article or something. I think it could be a wave, a whole new wave for the boomers and for the retirees who are looking for something like this. And, I mean, I'm just inventing these things in my mind as I'm talking to you, because I'm very much into this, and I'm glad that you're around there. I hope they appreciate you.
I appreciate that, and I will say it's definitely on topic. When you were discussing about open to families, and that is true with various properties and communities, but that we also do have 55 and older type communities,
right?
Where it's still you're still able to bring your grandkids and families there, but it's as far as living there,
Sure.
55 and older, and some of those communities are actually our best in our country where we have, and it's catering towards the boomers, and as we get more and more boomers now coming into retirement mode, it's a great affordable way to live.
Well, it's more than that, and I'll just put my gerontology hat on right now. A lot of people don't want to go to assisted living places. They don't want to go to these retirement communities. They want to live in their own home, but their own home is probably not going to be affordable. This way, they could maybe get a group of these. See, I'm going to give you some ideas. A group of these mobile homes, or whatever you want to call them, manufactured homes, and you could then have some care, nursing care, or something that handles them. Anyway, we'll have to talk further. You have to put me in touch with your owners because I have some ideas. Anyway, Boomer, it was wonderful talking to you. Everybody go to their website, rvonthego.com, or go. Their phone number is 877-570-2267. Thank you so much, Boomer.
All right, Anita, thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.